Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Let's start with Racing Point. They haven't had a single retirement in the last 10 races. What do you make of the car's reliability?
I think they can be fairly pleased with that record so far. The first thing any good car needs is a solid, reliable base with which to build on, and they seem to have that this season.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lucas Weber lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have a Mercedes, Raikkonen, Pierre Gasly, and Hamilton, Bottas, Perez, Vettel, and Charles Leclerc, Magnussen, Sainz, Nico Hülkenberg, and Giovinazzi, Ricciardo, Russell, Lance Stroll, and Alexander Albon. Norris and Devon Butler starts from the back of the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the double header event. We're getting the Hungarian Grand Prix and the Belgian Grand Prix in the same episode. I must explain really quickly here before we go to grid. The game crashed on me, and then my recording software crashed on me halfway through this race when I was first initially recording it. So all that footage was lost, and we're stuck with this Grand Prix only for this episode, and then we're going to go and do the Spa-Francorchamps race as well, as we go 3 wide into turn 1 here, in between Verstappen and, actually no, it's Raikkonen and, I don't know who that was on the other side. I wasn't paying attention in all honesty. But anyway, we're trying to make our charge towards Verstappen here, to see if we can try and maybe look at challenging Lucas Weber, who has been very strong here this race. He's been very strong here the entire weekend. We're starting on the soft tyres here, so we qualified through Q2 with the soft tyres, not the mediums. We did try and get in on the mediums, but it wasn't fast enough, obviously. Our way through to the final sector of the lap for the first time.
Start was okay, now stay alert for threats around you.
Into the penultimate corner, Verstappen's still just right there, so maybe we can at least get Verstappen. Because it looks like Lucas is already starting to check out, but Verstappen is checking out with him there. We move on to lap 6 now. Nothing really happened there. We continue to hold on to our 3rd place. We're going to for our pit stop. So we've got Raikkonen joining us on the pits here. We got held up there by Leclerc. Oh, that really, really sucks. And Raikkonen has jumped us in the pit stop cycle. Given how OP these Alfa Romeo cars are, it's
Green flag.
really stressing to see that Raikkonen came out in front of us. We've got a yellow flag out. Virtual safety car. It looks like it's a Haas car. I think that one is the Haas of Vettel. In fact, it is. It's the number 5. Sebastian Vettel with engine issues.
We're trailing our teammate by 15.7 seconds.
We got the drive of Raikkonen, and we get the move made on the outside. Just he comes back on us on the apex, but we hold on strong around the outside, open up DRS, get the move made going into turn 2, and move on to lap 10. We're right up behind Lance Stroll here, and we get around him on the outside as well. That's turning into maybe one of our favourite passing zones. Coming onto the back of Danny Ricciardo now.
Get past him.
He goes defensive. We go to the outside again, but we get him well before the braking zone for the corner. Now we move on to the final lap of the race, and Gasly ended up jumping us in a pit stop cycle as well there, and he's run away with the 3rd place finish. Lucas Weber getting the win. We've got Bottas right behind me as well, so that means that he's got himself in front of Kimi Raikkonen. We crossed the line for P4.
That's the end of the race.
Not a bad result at all.
Brilliant stuff from Alfa Romeo today. What a superb victory. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Alfa Romeo Racing in the #1 spot on the podium today. A thrilling race and an excellent result for this team, who've never stopped fighting for that top step.
There it is, Lucas Weber, flanked by the two Red Bull drivers of Verstappen and Gasly.
It's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship.
This
result
first,
narrows the gap between our championship leader and the rest of the standings. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
Well, there's no question in my mind, it has to go to George Russell. What a performance. He's got every right to be proud of what he accomplished out there today.
Let's move on to the constructors. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table.
We'll scroll down and
I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.
We have a look at the standings here. We're still just holding on to that lead in the championship. Hopefully the next race at Spa we can improve on that a little bit and maybe try and extend the lead that we have. And in constructors it's looking even more dire. Alfa Romeo definitely catching up to us very quickly there. Now it's time to go see the rivalry update, and we've actually set Kimi Räikkönen as our new rival here. Check out the resource points as well. We've got 2,160 to play around with now. We did get the team goal. Move on to the R&D tree here to see what upgrades we're going to look at making. First and foremost, we're going to have to go for this major over on the chassis department side just to even it all up there. Because that's one thing that I'm kind of pedantic about. We've still got 1,000 resource points to play around with. So we're going to go for the oil combustion upgrade here. Because we need to improve our engine. I mean, look how far ahead of us Alfa Romeo is there. Now we move on to the next race, and it looks like the chassis upgrade, one of the chassis upgrades has not gone through, and it's the major chassis upgrade, the heat dispersing tyres. But the engine upgrade that we asked for did go onto the car, which is very good news indeed. So now it's time to head into qualifying here for the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa-Francorchamps.
One of the mightiest tracks on the Formula One calendar. Long straights, up and downhill, Eau Rouge as well. This track isn't for the faint-hearted. And I'm here, of course, with Anthony Davidson on what has turned out to be a very pleasant day indeed. No weather to interfere, no problems on the track, so absolutely no room for error.
That's right, Crofty. It's looking good out there at the moment. Each team will have their own game plan for this session, and of course, once the cars leave the garage, they'll be under parc fermé conditions. So any last-minute adjustments need to be done right here and now. Beyond that, it's all up to the driver. Who can keep their tyres in the right temperature? Who can hit their apexes? No race fuel on board these days, of course. These are the fastest cars we've had in a long, long time, and it's right here in qualifying where they're at their absolute peak. Let's get started.
Now we move straight onto Q2 here, trying not to waste too much time. As you see, we are on the soft tyres. Got a lot to try and squeeze into this small time slot here. I've been trying to get my videos to be shorter and shorter as we go on. We're 8th here across the back straight, so we can gain some incredible speed. 347 without draft as we get into the braking zone. Break down for this third gear corner. wet or dry, it's always third gear. Sometimes second. We go to this long sweeping left-hander. I was playing around with going into fifth here. I think with the aerodynamic upgrades that we do have on the car, we could get around there a little bit easier in fifth. Especially with the power upgrades as well. As we go thundering along this final sector of the lap. No DRS available there, but we've still got 335 kilometers an hour. Go through the bus stop there, we'll cross the line, and it's good enough at the moment for P1. Let's get forward to the end of Q2 here, and it was good enough for P4 on the medium tyres. Lucas Weber on top, Kimi Räikkönen P2, Valtteri Bottas, our teammate, sitting there in fifth. And it looks like George Russell and Devin Butler were both eliminated in the first round of qualifying. We move on to the final run of Q3 here. And at the moment you can see Lucas Weber on top, myself in second, Räikkönen third, Bottas in fourth. Go through a Rouge and Radilon. Onto the back straight. Got into the grass just ever so slightly there, which just hindered our top speed. We got to 347 there at the end of it, but it could have possibly been 350. We still go purple for the first sector though. Qualifying is now complete. We head down to the no-name corner. Drop it down to 7th there, pretty much floor it straight away. Down to 5th gear for this quick little chicane section. Coming up to where we meet up with the old track here. We go green to the second sector. Absolutely flat out here on the run up to the bus stop. All the way down the first of the bus stop. Try and get that drive out of the corner. We hit the DRS, across the line.
Good work.
And it's only P2. That's really gutting, but
we're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Weber and Mercedes and Kimi Räikkönen.
Kimi Räikkönen
With
got himself third and Valtteri
all that
Bottas
remains
in
is the
fourth.
main event.
So the main
We'll be
protagonists
live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow,
title,
so make sure you join us there.
All right up the front of the grid there, checkered into odds and evens. See the rivalry update there. We're leading both rivals. And the resource point update, we've got just under 1,000 resource points there to play around with. It's time to get into the race.
Who doesn't love the Belgian Grand Prix? It's the race, of course, that gave maiden pole positions to the Jordan and Force India teams, with Rubens Barrichello and Giancarlo Fisichella respectively. Jordan, of course, would then go on to better that here in 1998 with their first ever victory. And you can guarantee that something special will always happen at Spa-Francorchamps. But what that something is today is anybody's guess. Joining us today to oversee all the thrills and spills, it's Anthony Davidson. And great to see you. How are you feeling about the race today, and how are the circuit conditions from what you've seen?
Well, the surface looks clean enough, but I'm a little bit worried about the track temperature. It's pretty cool out there, which could give some teams difficulties when it comes to keeping their tyres in the right operating window. The cars out there that work their tyres hard and really put a lot of energy through them, they'll be the ones that are better off.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lucas Weber lines up on pole position and a Mercedes alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, We have Raikkonen, Bottas, Lewis Hamilton and Vettel, Hülkenberg, Leclerc, Perez and Pierre Gasly, Ricciardo, Norris, Antonio Giovinazzi and Albon, Stroll, Sainz, Kevin Magnussen and Max Verstappen. Russell and Devon Butler starts from the back of the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So Max Verstappen with some grid penalties there. We're having a quick little look at the strategy. It looks like a fairly cruisy strategy for us, starting on the medium tyres here. It's time to get to the grid. We go 5 red lights. And we're underway for the Belgian Grand Prix. A little bit of a sluggish start there for us. Both Alfa Romeos getting around us. As we go through the tight first corner. We're trying to stay in Raikkonen's slipstream here so we can try and effect an overtake on this back straight. Looks like Raikkonen and Weber are going to fight it out here at the end of the straight. Raikkonen forcing his way up the inside of Weber. This is the first time that Raikkonen has really been dominating over Weber for the start of the race. We close right up onto Weber's gearbox there. No space to breathe it all behind. He is just very slightly holding on to the advantage over us at the moment though. But as long as we can stay within range of him, in range of his slipstream that is, we should be able to catch back up to them without too much trouble. I made a couple of small mistakes there and they did start to pull away from me. And in fact, I've got Hamilton just behind me starting to look threatening as well. We come into the bus stop for the first time. We close up a ton of time on Lucas Weber. Looks like Kimi Raikkonen maybe broke a little bit early there. And we move on to the middle or start of lap 4. We've got the DRS over Lucas Weber. He's got DRS on his teammate. We go up the inside and we effect that overtake. We move on to lap 6 now. We're going into the pits. We went purple to the second sector on our end lap.
Release.
Nice easy pit stop, not having to wait for anyone there. And it looks like Raikkonen coming out just in front of us as well.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
So myself and Raikkonen hold on to our first and second positions. We get a much better run than Raikkonen there through that long sweeping left. Going on the outside of him on the chicane, which becomes the inside for the next part of it.
Brilliant. Nice move.
Get the very easy overtake there. I thought I was going to have to work for it. But with Raikkonen being on the medium tyres and myself on the softs, we just got that move made very easy. And you see there's yellow flags in the background actually. So we might have to go and check that out on the replay cameras as the virtual safety car has come out.
Reduce speed and maintain a positive delta. Okay, slow down. Your delta is negative, which means you are too
Kevin
fast.
Magnussen is out of the race. We went to go check out the replay cameras and it didn't look like there was anything there that warranted me checking it out. As we move on here to the final corner, the final lap, the music's there. Cross the line and we get the win.
Superb driving. That's the race win.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a drive with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot. A well-earned victory for Mercedes.
So there is the podium. You've got myself. See Lucas Weber up there and Kimi Räikkönen.
Let's see how the driver standings have changed. Another solid result for our
all
championship
four of us
leader
up the
today,
top there.
allowing them
Myself
to
in first,
extend the gap
Räikkönen
between
in
themselves
second,
and the rest of the standings.
Lucas Weber in
so,
third,
Anthony
and
Davidson,
Bottas in
who would you
fourth.
rank as your driver of the day?
Scroll
Often
down
my
a
go-to
little
would be a
bit
driver
further
who's
here,
managed to pull off an especially
and,
impressive feat
we
during the
can
race.
see that
However, in
George
this instance,
Russell
I was more
is
impressed
up
by
into
Max
14th
Verstappen's
position
solid,
after
clean
starting at the
driving
back.
throughout the event.
It's time to
Scroll
check
down
out
just
the
a little
constructors'
bit further.
standings. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. It's been an absolutely
Eventually.
wild weekend of Formula One action.
And we can
I can't
see
wait to
Devon
see what's
Butler
next.
there in 18th. So he's gone up 2 positions after starting dead last on the grid. Check out the standings, and we do open up the gap a little bit to Lucas Weber, but it's only a very small gap there that we've opened. And it looks like Kimi Räikkönen has moved past Lewis Hamilton in the standings there as well. Go with the constructors, and we're still holding on to that very slim lead. We did manage to get some points back from them, but having Bottas finishing 4th definitely hurt us a little bit. So we check the rivalry updates, and we are dominating over them so far. And the resource points is looking good as well, so we're going to go to the R&D tree to see what we can do. First and foremost, we're going to put on this chassis upgrade that failed last episode. As we move down to the engine side of things, we've got another minor upgrade over here that we can do. And it's within our price range, so we are going to do it. It's an exhaust upgrade. So probably for better airflow through the engine, which will give us a little bit more power. As you can see, we're still just so far behind Alfa Romeo in the engine tree there. It's just crazy. Anyway guys, that's going to end off this double header episode. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. We're going to leave you with both highlights packages. Until the next episode, I'll see you next time.